This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. Southwest Indiana was in the spotlight last week following the USSSA Great Lakes National Championship softball tournament in Evansville and Newburgh. Evansville Mayor Lloyd Winnecke said the event is part of a growing emphasis on youth and college sports that brings more eyes on the region.
On the sports tourism piece, it's really about exposing the community in broader ways. So we know there's going to be media exposure almost in every kind of OVC event or NCAA event.
The region is already planning the $55 million Warwick County Sports Complex, which could break ground in the next few months. Since the Evansville Regional Sports Commission's inception in 2010, the city has generated an estimated $30 million in economic impact, a number that is sure to continue growing. The Lawrence County Redevelopment Commission has approved the construction of a $5.2 million shell building in the Mitchell Industrial Park beginning this fall. The RDC said the 50,400 square foot building could be expanded to 200,000 square feet to accommodate the growth of a future tenant. Manchester University said yesterday it has surpassed the $45 million goal in its Manchester Bold fundraising campaign 2 years early. The campaign, which launched its public phase last fall, will support initiatives including 30 endowed scholarships, nursing programs, and a new Spartan Pride marching band. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The parent of Franciscan Health Indianapolis plans to shift 61 employees to an outside company and end their employment as Franciscan employees on September 30th. IIB's Kate Sharon has more.
The moves will affect employees in Indianapolis, Beech Grove, Lafayette, Michigan City, Dyer, Crown Point, and Munster. All the employees work in Franciscan Alliance's Information Services Department. The Mishawaka-based hospital system said all 61 workers will be offered employment with comparable wages by a managed services provider, R4 Solutions, a California company that specializes in healthcare information services. They will continue to work on Franciscan projects. Franciscan notified the Indiana Department of Workforce Development of the moves earlier this month in a worker adjustment and retraining notification. The Franciscan Alliance Board of Trustees approved what it called the rebadging last month. Of the 61 affected employees, 39 work in central Indiana, either at a Franciscan location or from home. None work in direct patient care. Franciscan Alliance has roughly 19,000 workers system-wide at its 12 hospitals in Indiana and Illinois. Franciscan Alliance said hospital systems across the country are still recovering from the financial impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Tyler Truss Systems announced last week it has acquired Indianapolis-based McGuire Scenic, a rental service provider with clients in the automotive, sports, theater, and television industries. The company is not publicly disclosing the cost of the acquisition, but a spokesperson told Inside Indiana Business that Tyler Truss plans to substantially grow the business with the addition of McGuire Scenic's 20 employees. Tyler Truss, based in Pendleton, manufactures truss structures for live events and entertainment. The spokesperson said no jobs would be lost in the acquisition. Indianapolis Indians broadcaster Howard Kellman is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.